We need to talk about 30, 30, 30. Back when I was in college, a professor once told me, want to be a millionaire? Then come up with the diet method, give it a fancy name, and voila. I didn't really understand exactly what that meant at that moment. Until now, that I see a lot of things happening in social media. There's this thing about rules or methods that people love, and that's exactly why the internet has been going crazy over this specific video I'm about to share. Just watching that clip, it makes a lot of sense. When someone says that a specific diet with a catchy name will strip fat off of a human being faster than any other method, it's not surprising that people are going to get excited. I even did. Think about it right now. Are you more likely to watch a video on social media on how to lose weight sustainably over several months? Wink, wink, that's what I do. Averaging a pound per week? Or would you rather watch a video on how to strip fat off of your body fast using a simple method with super easy rules? I'm a registered dietitian with 12 years of experience under my belt, and I specialize in sustainable weight loss as one of the many other areas that I work on. And I'll admit that even to me, the second video sounds a little bit more exciting. So today, I'm going to be breaking down the 30-30 method to answer the big question, is it really the key to faster, easier fat loss results? And is it something that I would recommend for you to try if your goal is weight loss? You might be surprised by my answer, so make sure you keep watching. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Andres with another video here. I'm a registered dietitian and nutrition coach, and we're doing another reaction to a massively viral video today. On my channel, it's important for me that everything I share is based on the most up-to-date research in nutrition science. So this means that I'm only going to give you advice if it's based on reputable, peer-reviewed scientific studies. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today while I give you a full explanation of this viral video that came from a guy named Brecka. So let's jump back in and watch the full video together.
So I'm going to tell you something. There's something called 30-30-30. I've never seen anything in my life strip fat off of a human being faster than this. I wish I could have patented it. There's an entire book written by Timferris called The 4-Hour Body explaining this whole theory. It says 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking, followed by 30 minutes of steady state cardiovascular exercise. Bring your heart rate down to below 135 beats a minute. Do that for a month and watch it eviscerate.
Watch it eviscerate. Let me quickly recap the 30-30-30 or what it is, because I saw from the comment section in this video that there were a lot of people who were very confused about what this guy is saying here, because that's what happens with social media. You're only seeing tidbits of information without context, so it's really difficult to actually take it into action or consideration. This method refers to consuming 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking, and then following up your protein-rich meal with 30 minutes of steady-state cardio or cardiovascular exercise. So let's break this down. First, who is Brecka? You may think from the claims that he's making and also the fact that he's speaking on a big stage that he's a doctor or some other healthcare professional or someone who we should be paying attention to and listening to. Turns out he's a quote-unquote biohacker and functional medicine expert, and his education is a bachelor's degree in biology, which I'm not surprised because most of the guys that are talking big game in this specific field, that's what they have. Now, when we look at Timferris, who Brecka gives the credit to in the video, he has a bachelor's in arts in East Asian studies. This isn't to say that you need to have advanced degrees to give good advice, because I look up to people that don't have that and they still do their due diligence and they put out really good content. And if you know of Timferris, he's been massively successful in business. I'm personally a big fan of him, and I bought a lot of his books, and I think a lot of the things he said, I do like his advice or the things that he shares. But this is just to make it clear that the diet advice here isn't really coming from a qualified nutrition expert, neither of them. I honestly have no idea where Brecka is getting any evidence that the 30-30-30 is going to quote-unquote eviscerate fat. This is like listening to a Joe Rogan episode recommending a diet. Just because he's massively influential doesn't make him an expert, and we do know some of his guests and appearances are pretty questionable. But qualifications aside, let's get into this method, starting with the 30 grams of protein. You might be interested to know that this is actually good advice. I would absolutely recommend having a high protein breakfast. I recommend it to all of my clients inside of our programs. But does it need to be within 30 minutes of waking up? Absolutely not. There's no research that I know of that supports this timing. So where is this arbitrary number coming from? What happens if it's 45 minutes? Or what happens if it's an hour? Will my fat not melt away? In reality, the optimal timing for breakfast is what works best for you based on your body and based on your hunger levels. I came across this comment in one of the 30-30-30 video that I saw on TikTok. So this woman says that she does 30 minutes of Pilates after waking up and then has a protein shake about an hour later, which sounds like a great morning routine to me. Which, by the way, I've never done Pilates, and it's definitely a lot harder than what it seems, or at least this is what I keep hearing, so I need to make sure I add that to my list of things to try. She then proceeds to ask if it won't work since she's not having it within 30 minutes, and another commenter comes in to tell her that she has to have her protein first. This is completely false. Like, having protein at breakfast, regardless of the timing, is a great habit that will support many people in their goal to lose weight. If you feel nauseous in the morning before a workout, as this person commenting does, you do not have to eat it right away. Because what happens when she starts to believe that people, or with this guy, or what the people are saying in these comments, is like she'll literally stop doing something that is perfectly okay to do because of the fear and like, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Let's go back to the basic science of weight loss. In order to lose weight, and I've talked about this a million times, you need to create a calorie deficit or a deficit in calories, which can be done by eating less calories, burning more calories daily, or a combination of both. When you're in that calorie deficit, your body uses your stored fat for energy, and that's why you lose the weight. That's how you eviscerate the fat. Anything that helps you create that deficit will support your weight loss. So when you have 30 grams of protein in the morning, that will help you feel fuller and more satiated. And when your hunger is more under control, it will be easier to eat less calories throughout the day and stay in that deficit. Another benefit of protein is it will also help support muscle protein synthesis, which is key for muscle growth and maintenance. So there's benefits to that. But this is some kind of magic bullet. You need to continue eating protein throughout the day and managing your calories to make sure you're in that calorie deficit. Otherwise, it doesn't matter whether you had the 30 grams of protein at breakfast, because you're not going to be melting off any fat if you don't control the other variables. For example, take a look at another comment that I came across. This person is asking whether they should be eating normally the rest of the day. Well, that really depends on what normal eating looks like for this person. If eating normally means you don't stay in a calorie deficit, then you're not going to see any results. It's the deficit that matters, not the 30-30-30 formula. Now, when it comes down to the 30 minutes of cardio, well, it's basically the same thing. Yes, you will probably lose a lot of weight if you're adding in an extra 3.5 hours of cardio every single week without making any changes to your eating habits. This increases the number of calories you burn to help you create that calorie deficit. But whether you add it when you wake up, in the middle of the day, or even after work, you're going to get the same exact effect. So for the big takeaway from this video, does the 30-30-30 method actually work? It might, but it really depends on your current habits, so it's context dependent. If right now you're waking up, grabbing a pastry, and going to work at a desk job, then adding a high protein breakfast and 30 minutes of cardio will probably gonna help you with weight loss. If you're already getting plenty of exercise and eating a high protein diet, changing the timing so it's within the 30 minutes of waking up most likely will not have any effect on you. If I were to sum this up, it would be to say that eating more protein and moving more throughout the day, regardless of the timing, is good advice for weight loss. But when I say it like that, instead of coming up with a method that has a flashy name, which I could, it seems a lot less exciting. I just don't do that because I do have a bit of an ethical compass, and I don't like to present something just simply for purely marketing. 30-30-30 is just an arbitrary rule created to create controversy and garner attention and views. As you can see, this guy definitely has quite a few followers. And think about it, if a simple routine like this really was a magical way to strip fat off of your body, no one would be struggling with their weight. But the truth is, there is no instant solution for weight loss, and anyone who tries to tell you there is probably trying to sell you something. That brings us to the end of today's video. Today's very short and sweet. And I feel like this was a pretty fair overview. I didn't really want to go a lot into the research and showing you a bunch of studies. But if you have more questions about the 30-30-30 method, then make sure you leave a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything for you. I respond to all the comments that we get here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'll be back next week with a brand new video that breaks down something in nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, or movement. So I will see you guys next week.